Hey, what's happening everybody? This is another review from Jon Denton. If you like the idea of a YouTube gaming channel that talks about games from a journalistic and industry perspective, as well as celebrating the beauty and art of video games, then please do think about hitting the subscribe button. Okay, today I'm going to be talking about Mr. Shifty, a top-down action game from Team Shifty. It's out on Switch and PC. So here you've got 18 levels where you control this little dude in a hat called Mr. Shifty, and you're ascending a tower, much like in the movie The Raid, which is a clear influence, even down to a later level actually being called The Raid. And an obvious touchstone for this game is Hotline Miami, as you can see just by watching the video. And also the PS4 and Vita classic Velocity and its amazing sequel. So if you think about those two things, blend them into one, that's kind of an overall elevator pitch of what Mr. Shifty is. But Mr. Shifty, weird name, isn't it? But it's kind of makes it stand out. So I mean, I'm umming and ahhing about the name. It actually has a much different flow to Hotline Miami. Your character can teleport or shift 5 times in quick succession, but if you don't deplete that number, and it's signified by a little bar at the bottom, then those shifts will recharge really quickly. The game is melee only, so you're not firing weapons. And the idea is you nip in front of your enemies, then shift quickly behind them, take them out with a barrage of fists, and then disappear before his friends can react. And the sense of impact is what separates the game from Hotline Miami, as well as not being a game about shooting guns. And this is really about being up close and personal, about feeling every blow, about sending enemies crashing through walls and windows, about shattering the environment. Mr. Shifty cannot hold a neon pixelated candle to Hotline Miami style. I mean, really, what can? But it only borrows from that game slightly. It's a very different game, and I have to say, at its best, it's actually a very successful one. It's about keeping 1, 2, or even 3 steps ahead of the enemies in combat. But also Team Shifty uses this core mechanic, this shifting mechanic, to build clever and inventive riddles into the whole level design throughout the game. So you might need to shift to avoid lasers that are moving, or move between rooms that you didn't realise they were there, or fly at the path of a rocket turret, all while dealing with tens of bloodthirsty enemies at the same time. At its best, Mr. Shifty pulls you into kind of rhythm like the best action games. Each button press is crucial to maintaining an eye-widening combo. Thumbs and your mind connects, and the action on screen moves faster than you think you can think. Entire rooms falling before you in the space between one blink and another. And as you progress, you start to read the rooms better. You see that rocket launcher guy in a crowd of shotgunners, and it might make you think, right, we need to take him out first because he's the most powerful. But if you can draw his fire at the right time, he'll blow himself and a bunch of his bros up with him, so it kind of does your job for you. And as you progress, and as the levels get denser and more complicated, and things like explosive barrels start appearing, and proximity mines, and weapons that you find on the floor like sticks and keyboards and even fruit you can throw at people, you start to really understand how to use your environment and how to use your enemies against each other in order to really master each situation. And trust me, you're going to die a lot. It's a one-hit kill like Hotline Miami, but when you get it right, it does make you feel pretty damn special. It's a real shame then that serious performance issues do hamper what's otherwise a pretty damn impressive debut from Team Shifty. The back half of the game, on Switch anyway, sees the already slightly choppy frame rates stutter like a shy teenage boy in a room full of girls, and it becomes increasingly difficult to conquer the sometimes hundreds of bad guys when the game is sputtering and clunking all over the place. And the team has acknowledged this problem on Twitter, which at least is honest, but has also said it needs the game to sell to be able to afford to patch it and to add more content like the score attacks and time trials this package is clearly missing. And this is a kind of approach which it's kind of accepted in 2017, but the consumer in me can only look at it with a screwed up face. You want to charge 13 quid for your game? Get that stuff right straight away. This isn't early access, okay? And I don't even really want to bag on Mr. Shifty, because this is exactly the type of game Switch needs. It's a cool, inventive and exciting indie project that's the perfect thing to plug the gaps between the really big Nintendo games. Fix that frame rate quickly, and all is good. It's a short but fiery game that makes you feel like a king one minute and a chump the next in the way that the best action games do. But if it remains in this state, I've got to say avoid. It's a real shame. It's just too frustrating to have a game this demanding not be able to keep up with itself. So a real mixed bag for Mr. Shifty. I do think at its best it's one of the best games on the console. But I can't support this kind of business practice. Even the small team, and I understand how difficult it is, if you want to put a product out and charge for it, it needs to be working properly. So let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Alright, that's my review of Mr. Shifty. Please let me know in the comments if you played the game or if you've played it on Steam. I'd love to know about the performance on there. I'd love to know your thoughts on the game. I'd love to know your thoughts on Switch, on this style of review, all sorts of things. Please do let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, the usual YouTube stuff, it is cliche, but the liking, the commenting, the subscribing is a massive one. Sharing on social media, it really, really helps the channel grow, and the quality of content is just going to increase. So again, thank you very much for watching. My name's Jon Denton, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace!